The $20 range of IEMs is of course flooded. The market is absolutely jam-packed with those. But just before recording this video, I realized that this is not that expensive. It is more within reach for a lot of newcomers. Thank you to the folk at CCA for making this review possible by sending me this demo unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own as always. Now, this set of IEMs does have a few shortcomings, mainly when it comes to the sound, but I will get to that. Meanwhile, let's quickly jump into the unboxing and its build quality. The CCA comes with a fairly simple unboxing experience. You will see the IEMs in the box, of course. You do get the cable. You will get small, medium and large ear tips as well, along with the literature. Now, this set of IEMs does have an option where you can buy a set with a microphone. You can also get a set with a USB-C point instead of a 3.5mm. So that little decoder should manage all the audio for you. It should decode well enough, I'd say, at this price point. But I have paired this with some better hardware when it comes to my DAC and amp, so I have tested this to the maximum capability that it has. Now, it does come with a fairly decent cable. It's pretty simple. It gets the job done. It does what it needs to do. It's got a nice sort of L-shaped angle here where the 3.5mm termination is, and of course at the other end of the cable it is a 0.78mm termination that plugs into the IEMs. Now, the IEMs themselves do have a very reflective faceplate. It is some sort of a chrome. It's definitely some sort of plastic, and the inner part is see-through, and it is some sort of plastic or resin. Now, comfort-wise, I found this to be fairly comfortable. It's not really given me any issues, but I have found most brands with the medium ear tips straight out of the box do fit me well. This one seemed a little iffy on my left ear, but once I do adjust it, it does create a much better seal than it was in the start. Now, this faceplate can certainly show up with a lot of scratches and scuffs because it is reflective, it is very glossy, and it is this kind of finish. But the inner part I doubt will show as many scratches and scuffs, especially if you're putting it in your ear most of the time and not on a desk somewhere. Now, what's cool is you can see into it. So this does have a dynamic driver and a BA driver as well that's mounted somewhere near the nozzle. So it's quite cool that you can see all of this within this little cavity. And what I found really interesting is when you take this little ear tip off, when you look through the nozzle, I'm not sure if my sort of camera will see this, but when you look through the nozzle, you can see the BA driver and how close it is to the grill. It's a tiny little black BA driver. I'll try my best to show you, but it's sitting right within the nozzle, right close to your ear. So it's going very close to your eardrum. I've never seen something mounted this far into the nozzle before. It's normally within the chamber or the cavity of the IEM, but this is sitting right there. So you can see it quite clearly when you're holding this, of course. These come with dynamic drivers and a BA driver that sits within that nozzle. Now, it's got a very easy to drive a low resistance of just 27 ohms, and it has a frequency response of 20 hertz all the way up to 40,000 hertz. This is what CCA claims on their website, but when they do show the signature of this, it seems to fall short of 20,000. So, I mean, whatever they say, I guess. But anyway, moving on. When it comes to the volume of this, I have paired this with my RZ550 from Rose's Elsa. It's a very powerful little DAC amp. I would recommend it to everyone out there. This thing usually doesn't need to go past 25% volume, at least through my phone. I'm using an Android, but when I switch over to my Mac and boost these, it's kind of equal at around maybe 45% with the volume boost through the Mac. And then moving on to its stage. Well, stage-wise, it's pretty standard with its staging. It does sit within a bubble in your head. There's nothing too spectacular here. And it seems that the folk at CCA are trying to cater this towards the gamer. I'd say, yeah, it can work for a gamer, but it's not really spectacular. Then again, I think within the price range that it sits, you start to understand why it doesn't stage as well. I don't think they've put as much R&D into this as they could have. But imaging wise, I'd say it is tight, it is precise, it's pretty well detailed. Detail recovery is pretty great, except for when things get too busy. So again, if you're gaming with this, if you're running around hearing footsteps and some explosions and all, that's fine because there are a few things going on. The minute you start throwing music at this, and I don't mean the usual stuff with the guitar, bass, drum kit, vocals, when it's busy, when you've got stuff like an orchestra playing and there's a lot going on, this starts to trip up a lot with a lot of the detail. It's not able to give you that amount of detail. In fact, there are times where it starts distorting because it can't handle too much happening. But anyway, that's something you'll have to figure out. If you're going to use this for gaming, I think it's fine. If you're using it with not very busy tracks, that's the kind of music you listen to, it's fine. Its highs, mids and lows, well, it's tuned kind of in a V-shaped tuning. I'd say it's not really balanced, but gives the impression of being balanced most of the time. Its high frequencies are definitely tweaked. Now, the thing is, because it's a BA driver, I've noticed BAs tend to not be piercing and too aggressive. They're kind of rolled off nicely, so you get a lot of detail, a lot of definition here. Again, unless it's a very busy track. Its mids are of course a bit recessed, but I'd say vocals and instruments here do have good separation. It's not bad over here. It's actually a very good performer. But the lower frequencies is where I realized that something isn't very right. In fact, that's when I realized these weren't too coherent. In fact, I hadn't checked out the details of these IEMs up until very recently. I was first listening to them, and while listening to some music, something seemed very off. So I went to see if it had a dual driver, which of course it does. So I guess an IEM in this price range may not have as much TLC dedicated towards it. So you will, notice some of these hiccups, but this is again being very critical, which is pretty much what I'm trying to do whenever I review any IEMs. So I'd say for certain genres of music, I'd say if you're listening to jazz, blues, anything that's maybe just vocals, not choral, because the more layers you add into your music, the more dimension that any music track has. The minute there's too much thrown at this, it starts sort of stepping over its own feet. It's not able to give you what the music is supposed to give you. But having said that, I will say the bass is surprisingly fun. It does have a good amount of kick. It does have a good amount of punch. It does have good extension, but at the same time, sometimes feels disconnected from the rest of the music, because I suspect that they've catered that dynamic driver towards more bass response than anything else, and it's just not working very well when it comes to hand-in-hand sort of delivery with its overall presentation with music. Again, I think with gaming this is perfectly fine. It's nice to have a slightly separated sounding lower frequency, because that will give you the explosions, rumble in the ground if there's an earthquake while you're playing, or those lower rumbling frequencies this can do. Now, having said that, if you are a bass enthusiast, I think if you're looking for things that'll, when you listen to a speaker and there's bass that rattles your chest or makes your chest move, this is not going to do that. It's not really a set of IEMs that I've experienced this with. Then again, I think it's fine with a lot of the other stuff I mentioned, be it jazz, blues, and all that sort of stuff. Its timbre isn't exactly there. Then again, I usually don't talk about timbre with IEMs below a certain price range, but I mean, if you're somebody who just wants something to listen to while gaming, while you're traveling, you don't want to lose it, you don't want to spend too much money on it, I think this is perfectly fine. So if you do want to buy this, of course, it is available from the folk at CCA, of course. I will leave all the links down below. You can buy this from the CCA website, at least the 3.5 mm variant for about 9.99 USD, which is I think the most affordable set of IEMs that I've reviewed. And the 3.5 mm with mic will set you back about 11.99. The Type-C with mic will set you back about $13.99, and the Type-C with no mic is about $12.99. So you'll have to figure out which one is for you. Now, this is also available within the country. I will leave any links, if I can set them up, of course, in the description below. Yeah, there you have it. That's my review on the CCA Xyraa. It is a neat little set of IEMs, especially if you don't want to spend too much. You just want it to work, and you're not being overly critical with whatever you're listening to. And anyway, that's my quick review. I do hope that I've helped you understand these IEMs a little bit better, of course, and helped you make some sort of purchase decision. If you would like to help support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.